everyone. And thanks for the kind words there. So we're really pleased to be at the IREX. We keep coming back to IREX quite often as sponsors. And I don't know, we will still continue to be here. It's been an amazing experience. And once again, thanks for letting us in here. Yes, and thanks for the kind words. Myself, EDWIN John, Director of Business Development with US Immigration Fund. We're here to talk a little more about the EB5 program. Who we are as US Immigration Fund. We've got a collective experience of close to 5 decades backing us in the real estate and banking and finance industry. We have been in the EB5 space since 2010. We just completed 15 years last year. We've raised close to $3 billion in capital, $15 billion of development. We've assisted close to 6,000 families and gotten close to 4,700 I-526E approvals. So a lot of experience backing us, and that's what's important for you to consider as an investor. That's our team, our executive team. A little about our team who are operating in the India, EMEA, and the Dubai markets. Sheikh Musa heads our EMEA region, followed by myself and Akshat, who head India and UAE as a business. We have Mark and Snehil, who support us, and also Harsh, who heads the India marketing business for us. A little about EB5, right? I'm sure a lot of you who are here would want to know about the program. It is the most relevant and easiest and legitimate way of gaining your green card to the US. What are the requirements? Minimum $800,000. In rural areas and high unemployment areas. The $800,000 has to be a lawfully sourced funds, right? So that's something where you will have to closely work with immigration attorneys because that's where their involvement comes into the play. Each EB5 investment must generate 10 jobs. That's a requirement that has to be met, which is again put forth by USCIS. Investments have to be at risk and must be invested in a US new commercial enterprise. We will talk about this in detail. If anyone's interested, we have a booth. We'd be happy to kind of run you through the process in detail. Benefits of the EB5 program, right? So yes, as I mentioned earlier, it is the fastest way today for anyone, any applicant from a country which is not facing backlogs. As of now, none of the countries are facing backlogs. So that's the fastest way to gain your EB5, other than absolutely marrying someone who's already in the US. You have your freedom to live, work, and retire in the US. Education, you are liable for in-state tuition fees. So that's a benefit for anyone who's pursuing this. And obviously, 5 years down the line, you have the liberty to even chase the US citizenship. Benefits of concurrent filing. So currently, because no country is facing any retrogressions or backlogs, there is always a benefit of filing concurrent EAD APs, which means that you would no longer have to be dependent on an employer for sponsorship. That makes life very easy for especially those who are on an H-1B or an F-1 in the US. So that's something that a lot of people who today we talk to, 8 out of 10 are people who are already in the US wanting to consider this as a program that they want to pursue. The good part about US Immigration Fund today in this space is that we are the only regional center that have 3 projects in all the 3 categories which are currently prevalent in the market. So we have an HUA project named as Wave Spa. We have a rural project, Alpine 9340, and the behemoth of a project which is coming up, which is Grand Central in the infrastructure space. We are really excited about that as well. Let's talk a little more about the projects that we have. Let's start with Wave Spa. Yes. High unemployment area projects. This is one of the legacy categories which has been there since the inception of EB5. Wave Spa, again, is one of the projects that we've been working with, which has all approvals which are in place, positioning it as something which kind of reduces immigration risk for an investor substantially. It has your I-956 approval, we have an I-526E and an I-485 there. I would like to play a video for you guys to just get a feel of what Wave Spa is.
The U.S. Immigration Fund is a premier EB5 regional center. For more than 15 years, we've been helping global investors and their families achieve U.S. permanent residency. We're excited to announce yet another premier real estate investment opportunity. Introducing Pier Village Phase 5, the Wave Spot condos. A luxury residential development in the scenic coastal city of Long Branch, New Jersey, the project features 46 beachfront condos, all with Atlantic Ocean views. Premium amenities include private beach access, an infinity pool, fitness center, lobby lounge with a doorman, and garage parking. Owners will have full privileges at the Wave Resort, including access to Pier Village's exceptional dining, retail, and entertainment. Pier Village also offers unmatched accessibility, just minutes from the Long Branch train station, with service to New York City as well as Philadelphia. Known as a modern city by the sea and one of the most desirable places to live in coastal New Jersey, Pier Village has transformed Long Branch into a vibrant year-round destination, attracting residents, retailers, and more than 2.3 million visitors annually. Long Branch is experiencing a remarkable renaissance, fueled by significant private and public investment, including a $37 million beach replenishment project. Wave Spot condos have already received I-956F approval from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, qualifying it under the Targeted Employment Area category for faster visa processing. This project is expected to create more than 748 jobs, which is nearly 50% above EB5 program minimum requirements. Developed by world-renowned Kushner companies, Wave Spot Condos offers global investors the opportunity to invest in luxury beachfront real estate. Trusted by international investors and their families, the U.S. Immigration Fund has deployed over $3 billion in EB5 capital in support of more than 25 landmark developments. Contact us today to start your path to U.S. residency.
That's what Wave Spa is, right? So as shown in the video, it's a 46-unit beachfront luxury condos, which is up for sale starting $2 million, north of $2 million. And the location itself is something which drives a lot of ultra HNIs in the New York, New Jersey area who are looking at a second home to this particular destination. What is important is our association with the developer here, right? So Kushners are the ones who are developing the project. They're one of the largest developers in that particular area. We have a legacy with them where we've worked with them on 2 projects before Waves. One way back in early 2010s where it was called as 65 Bay Street, where the loan on the investment was paid back within 3.5 years, which is much ahead of the time. So as an investor, that should get you some confidence that the developers that we work with are marquee developers who have enough and more cash flow to kind of make sure that the repayment happens on time. The most recent project that we closed with the Kushners was 1JS, where the first tower where we worked with has already been refinanced by Blackstone. So again, if there is a financial institution which is backing the project of the nature of a Blackstone, you know that the project has enough and more value to bring to the table. From a location standpoint, as I mentioned, it is something that drives a lot of ultra HNIs for a second home market, right? So if you look at it, it's an hour's drive from Brooklyn, Jersey City, and Manhattan as well. So that's what positions Wave Spa as a prime real estate in that particular area. From a job creation standpoint, which is the next category, next point that needs to be considered as an investor, we are raising close to 40 million there, and there is excess of jobs which are being created, close to around 50% in excess. So job creation criteria is kind of taken care from that perspective. Again, immigration highlights, job creation is in place. You have all of the approvals in place. So when you're evaluating an HUA project, this is something that positions you in a very, very safe area to kind of finalize and go in for an HUA project. That's a couple of highlights that you can just go through. The next one that we would want to talk about is the rural space. Rural comes with its own benefits, that it has got its priority processing from a timeline perspective. It's much, much lesser than a high unemployment area project. We have Alpine 9340, which is a multifamily for rent as a project. We will talk about that a little more in detail. What is it? It is a 210 multifamily for rent project wherein we have 210 units coming up there, out of which 10% of them are deed-restricted affordable housing units. Now, when we talk about this project, we understood that in that area of Whitefish, Montana, there is enough and more demand for housing which needs to be met by 2030, and we are catering to almost 1/4 of that demand. So as and when the project gets completed, we have enough and more sight of future cash flows coming in, which positions you as an investor to make sure that your repayment happens in on time. What is the project? It is a community which is coming up, so it has all the amenities which is required from a gym, playground, and shared walking paths which will be there in order to facilitate people who are staying in that particular project. The project is backed by a developer called as Kibo Group. They've been in the real estate business since 1996. The reason why we chose to work with them is because of the diverse portfolio of sub-asset classes that they have within real estate. And that's one of the reasons why we went ahead and onboarded them and started working with them on a rural project. Again, from an approval standpoint, we already have filed the I-956F for the project, and we have a receipt notice for the same, basis which an investor who is considering a rural project can still file their I-5260 and lock in their priority dates. From a job creation standpoint, again, we are looking at 260 jobs in phase 1, which is in excess of what is the requirement here. So in the last 15 years, in the 25, 26 projects that USIF has worked on, we've never fallen short of a job creation criteria. So we are in a very, very strong position from that standpoint. What you're looking on the screen right now is basically your completion timelines. So the project started its construction in May 2025. This is a report generated by a third-party vendor where we see that the project is much ahead of its completion timelines, which again only goes to say that the repayment of capital is very well positioned. I go back and keep talking about this because as an investor, that is an important criteria that you need to keep in mind while you're closing in on any of the projects across the 3 categories that are available today in the market. What you see on the screen is basically the photos starting from May 2025, how things have progressed from a construction standpoint. And that's what we are really excited about. Grand Central Rising, that is our infrastructure project, which is coming soon. We are plugging in a couple of variables there. We should have that soon in the market for you guys to evaluate. It is basically a gateway of commerce, culture, and connectivity. Everyone knows what Grand Central is. We are redeveloping the Grand Hyatt Hotel along with the Grand Central Station, which is located right at the basement there. It's a historic infrastructure development, not only in the EB5 space, but in the US real estate itself. It's going to transform the EB5 infrastructure project as soon as we bring this to the market. It is going to be the tallest tower in the Western Hemisphere. With that, I would certainly want you guys to walk over to our booth. If anyone's interested in any of the categories, any of the projects, please feel free to reach out to us at our booth, and we'd be happy to kind of assist you through the program. Thank you.